Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're back over at our base. It's been a little while since I've been on and making a video. I took a little bit of time off to focus on some other things. It was a lot of good time. It was a good use of my time, but we're back now, and we're back at making videos, and I want to get back on a regular schedule with these. So today, I want to focus on, on our starter base. I want to focus on the villager tower area. I want to terraform this whole area. I want to just sort of start to have this place take shape in the way that it's going to be lived in. And I think the best way for us to really do that is to start mapping out some of the areas that we want to transform. So I'm down here at the wool farm because wool blocks actually are a great tool for mapping out builds. They're pretty harsh in in the fact that they're very different from many other colors around them, particularly if you pick bright colors that aren't really natural colors like red or blue. Going with like brown or green wouldn't really do me much good because I might not be able to tell the difference between grass and dirt. But picking some blue and red dye might help me map out where I want to put some things. So while I'm right here, one of the areas that I really want to transform a bit is this area right around where my farms are, my underground farms are. So far, what I've really had is just this big flat space that sort of isn't connected at all. And that doesn't really make much sense in terms of physics. So I think we're going to spend some time and we're going to try to terraform this up a little bit more and make it make sense. So I'm going to very quickly hop into a time lapse. So let's go. So yeah, we just did a little bit of work here making this area underneath our goose henge build a bit more realistic, I'd say. You might be asking yourself, hey Sam, why did you spend a minute and a half just putting glass somewhere in the time lapse? And to that I say, because I wanted to. The goal with this, honestly, was just to make this all make sense. And so it's now not just a floating mound of dirt. And with a little time, those vines will grow down off the side and make it look even more overgrown and realistic. And over time, I might also add some more glass just to sort of round this out a bit. Eventually, though, and I say eventually because this is going to happen very soon, I'm going to be terraforming this whole cliffside. It's time. We've reached the point where I can't wait any longer and I need to actually get it done. But now that we have the area next to Goosehenge all making sense now, at least in the short term, we can turn our attention towards another aesthetic yet functional build, the skeleton spawner. So really early on in this world, I discovered a skeleton spawner in this mountain, and I created a little pathway down. Oh, bum, 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 bam, bam, ouch, my head. I created a little skeleton farm so I can get XP. It creates a lot of bones, a lot of bone blocks, a lot of bows, a lot of extra armor, and I've been using this pretty regularly to get, you know, levels for enchantments and to heal my different items that have mending on them. So I'd like to create a more aesthetically pleasing opening to this skeleton spawner, and that'll lead out here towards our grander city. So I think I'm going to take advantage of the bone blocks that I have and some white wool and perhaps some deep slate or blackstone and come up with a bit of a skeleton head entrance. So bear with me. I'll come back once I've got a little bit more progress made on the outline of that. So this is the scale I'm looking to work with. I've carved out a little pathway down all the way to the skeleton farm, and I'll dress this up after, but what I want to do is get this opening really squared away. I just want to go with a solid bone outline, and I'm gonna carve a little bit into the mountain to have it sort of go into it, sort of be like a giant fossil head. I think it's gonna look real cool once it's all done. So I'll check back in once I've got the face of the skeleton starting to take shape. This is the face I've sort of come up with. I'm obviously modeled after a Minecraft skeleton head. So I got the black glass for the eyes, and the black glass extends into the cavern to sort of give the depth of a skull. I'm gonna continue to, you know, make this a little bit nicer to look at. I've had to continuously widen out this pathway, and this will ultimately turn into stairs. I'm not a monster. I'm not gonna do one block hops up and down this thing every time. That's not efficient. So a little bit of a tight entry, but that's okay because you can still fit through it, and it's only for a moment. It also needed to be at least 8x8 space to give the impression of a Minecraft head. So it even extends 8 blocks into the cavern. It's almost as if we've uncovered this skeleton skull, this giant skeleton skull in the mountain as we've discovered the spawner. So I'm gonna check back in once I've accomplished the prettification of this pathway. Yee. All right, so I finished what I think is a good facade for the whole thing, and that's really what we're doing here. I don't need to make every aspect of this build beautiful, but the part that, you know, visitors would see if they came through here is really important to me, and this is what I got. What I showed before, the skeleton skull head, the face is all in its glory. I've used the black and light gray glass to simulate like the eye holes and then the nose hole, and we are entering in through the mouth, and the black glass extends back here, coming into deep slate tiles on the floor and the ceiling. Got some cobble deep slate on the walls. I haven't completely finished making this blend seamlessly, but it just extends on down here, back down to the spawner, and I will call this part of the skeleton spawner project finished. On to the next thing. So I'm back here underneath the Goosehenge build with all the other farms, and one thing that I've been meaning to set up for a while now is an efficient cactus farm. So I've already gone through and I've set up an 11 by 11 space that is going to serve as our cactus farm. And now cactus farms are extremely simple. They're not a complicated build at all, don't require a lot of redstone, or any redstone for that matter. They're very simply a setup with just, it's all about spacing. Like realistically, it's all about spacing. So you just gotta set up this 11 by 11 space, which creates a 9 by 9 square inside of the stone here. And what we're gonna do is we're going to give the cactus space to open up, but then we're also going to open up this hole here, which is going to be where everything drains to. So from here, we need to create a collection chest that leads to where we can more easily access it until we come in contact with that hole. Yep. So from here, all we need to do is set up the water to flow this way. Yep, perfect. And from here we'll be able to more easily access our profit from the chest. I'd forgotten the fact that cactus actually needs space to grow. It needs to have one block around it in every direction, otherwise it won't grow. Now there are a couple exceptions to that, and one of those exceptions are fence posts. So I'm here at my wood storage, and I'm just gonna find where I have at least 8 fence posts already created. I guess I haven't made a ton of fence posts overall. I guess we're making fence posts today. We got a lot of spruce. Let's use spruce. I've got my spruce wood and I've got some sticks, and we just need to make some spruce fences. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make 9 because I don't really have a choice. So now that we've got our fence posts, basically all we gotta do is put them 2 blocks high in between where the cactus will grow. And when the cactus hits this area, it will break and fall down into our water stream that we're gonna put in. So let me just put these in real quick and we'll be all sorted. So from this point, it really is just as simple as placing down all of our cactus blocks in order to allow them a chance to grow, and then just giving it time. I do need to add one last step, which is just to put a water source in every corner, and then it'll all flow into that center area. And just like that, our simple cactus farm is now finished and will start to yield profit. So with the last little bit of time on this video and the last little bit of time I want to spend sort of bringing this base up to speed and up to a little bit of a quality standard, I want to build some greenhouses. By that I mean I want to go ahead and retrofit some greenhouses over our existing flower farms and make a commitment that each time I build a new flower farm, if I build more, when I build more, I will build a greenhouse on top of it. They're going to be pretty simple design, and I just want to go ahead and get that out of the way, which is why we needed our cactus farm. So I'm giving some time for the cactus farm to do some work, and then I'm going to go back and get some green glass, or get some cactus, make some green dye, make some green glass, and then make a greenhouse. But for now, I'm going to use the wool in my inventory to map out some future builds so that we can start planning what is going to exist in this space. So I've had a little bit of time to go through and place out some wool blocks, and I've got some rough outlines of where some things are going to go, but the big one is right over here. This thing is going to be big. Like I cannot stress it enough that this thing is going to be the absolute largest build that I've made, at least on this world. I want to actually do this thing justice and turn it into a proper, good, detailed build. So this will happen in a couple more episodes, I think. So now we can move on to what I actually wanted to get done before the end of this episode, which was to build little greenhouses. So over there, over here, and over here are some flower farms. And what I need to do is just build a simple little greenhouse with some spruce and some green glass. And as you can see, I've got plenty of both in my inventory. The cactus farm has been doing work and producing quite a bit of cactus. So I am very pleased with that. And without further ado, let's get moving on this. So I'm part of the way through doing this greenhouse, and this is really the simple vibe that I'm going for. It's very obviously just spruce and glass, and it's going to be backed up on both ends with some kind of design, which I'll work out before I complete this. But I'm just going to basically take this design and then replicate it 2 times over. And it's super easy. I don't have any struggle with this, but my big goal was just to not get in the way of what's going on here with the flower farm. I think that it's coming together exactly like I thought it would. So I'm very pleased with that. And yeah, I'll come back when it's actually done. And we're back, and I'm sure you can tell right away that I'm using the shaders to sort of exemplify what we got here and just show off a little bit more. I've gone with a super simple design for the greenhouse. It's just glass and spruce in 3 different ways. We've got the spruce logs lining it on the ground. We got the glass all around it because it is a greenhouse after all, and we need sunlight to get in, but also to keep this area nice and temperature regulated for our flowers. And then some spruce slabs so that we have a little entryway. I can still access the note block that makes this thing go. And we've got some spruce wood up there lining the roof. I might actually tack on some extra on top just to give it a little bit more depth on top. And I've got glass on all sides. And the idea is just to create this sense of a full enclosure, fully immersed, enclosed greenhouse. Isn't that beautiful with the shaders on? But I am going to do one more this episode. I hit a point where I actually don't have enough green dye and enough glass to keep going. But I got some more glass from Buutz, because she's got a nice little shop going over at her base. And I am going to continue tackling this, just going to replicate this right over here, and then I will get to the other one another time when I have a bit more green dye after I've had a chance for my Cactus Farm to do a little more work for me. So I'll come back when this is done and we'll wrap up this episode. So we did it. Right behind me are these two finished greenhouses, and I just have to say that I'm pretty happy with how they came out. They came out almost exactly how I envisioned they would. They're simple, but they're mine, and they accomplished the goal that I wanted them to, which is to just make the flower farms make sense in the context of like a city build or like some kind of village build. So we're going to be, continuing more of these build-up projects right around this area and making this whole space sort of come together in a way that really makes sense for us. I'm a big fan of making builds make sense in the context of where they are, and I have really made it a point this time to try and make that happen, which is why all of our farms are underground. As far as what we need to get done, this episode is all set. I think I'm pretty happy. But what I will tease is what we will be doing next episode. So I know I already mentioned the build for the cliffs, but while I was doing this, I noticed a totem of undying next to a pirate flag. Now, a few episodes back, I joined the Pirate Alliance with Buutz, Jelly, and Simon, and it seems like this is probably Simon, considering he's the one with the raid farm, and he wants a bulk order of black dye. I want to turn everyone's attention to something I said a couple episodes ago. Because nobody's got, and I mean nobody, has got a wither farm or a wither rose farm. Nobody has that farm. So yeah, nobody has black dye. Nobody. Until next week, we'll be doing something. We'll be doing a big project that I'm hoping comes together and doesn't result in many more deaths, because I've already got 19 of them and I'd like to keep that number as low as possible. But until then, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Later.